Well, I actually uh, fell in love with accounting when I was in high school. I had to take a bookkeeping class, and I just liked uh, I guess the order of it. You know, everything fit into a place, as opposed to, like a lot of majors where there's just how do I want to describe it? There's just not a lot of preciseness. You know, with accounting, it either generally it is or it isn't. And that to me, that structure is what I really like, and I've been doing it for 50 years now, close to 50 years. Um, but that's why I got into it. The courses that I like or that I took, I liked most of them. There was a few of them I didn't care for. And in my situation is a little different because you have to, you know, and I don't think you guys know this, but I actually got my bachelor's degree back in the 60s and did it, worked in accounting and industry for 40 years and retired. And then I came back here and to get a master's degree in accounting. And they made me take some of the accounting classes over. And that was interesting. Um, but uh, quite honestly, accounting classes hasn't changed in 50 years. It's pretty much the same. The only thing that's really changed is online homework now. You know,
Yeah.
that makes life a lot easier. Where before you had to do it with pencil and paper, and and you also got to keep in mind, you're talking to somebody who's been doing this for a long time before calculators actually existed, before there were pocket calculators. Um, so we had to do everything, all the addition and subtraction in that. We had adding machines, but if we had to do multiplication and division, we had to do that all by hand. There was a time when it
Yeah.
was like that. You know, I remember when I bought my first pocket calculator. It was in 1984. I bought it used. I, I bought it used, and it cost me $180.
Oh my goodness, for like
Oh,
something that we already have in our phones.
Yeah, it's like these that you can get
Yeah,
80 or 90 cents.
yeah,
Yeah.
wow.
that's
So
crazy.
so that's how far back it goes. But you know, uh, it wasn't a lot of fun back then because the homework that you had to do would take hours and hours and
I
hours.
bet,
It
yeah.
was not unusual to spend 15, 20 hours a week doing homework for just one class.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, wow. That sounds rough.
But um, but I liked them. There's
Hmm.
a few accounting classes that I didn't particularly care for. You
And
know,
which ones were those?
um, government accounting,
Mm.
because it's really different and complicated. It's not, quite honestly, it's not like regular accounting.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't particularly care for that.
Mm.
But you know, and it's changed so much. I never took international accounting, but you know, you've got that now, and you've got international standards that you have to deal with. So it makes I would think it would be really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it
Uh,
makes it different.
yeah.
Oh, what else we
You
got?
can hit the button and then slide it.
Which one?
The home button on the front.
On the top, yeah.
Yeah, and then just slide. There you
What was my hardest course? My hardest course, without question, was advanced financial accounting. That's
Remind me
accounting.
not to
I
take
think it's
that.
accounting
Yeah.
337. I think. Uh, I took that when I was in the graduate program,
Mm.
and it was brutal. I actually started taking it and dropped it
Mm.
and then came back a semester later and took it again. I got an A in it, but it was just, oh man, it was tough.
No, those classes where it's just like, oh, it still gets you.
Yeah, uh, yeah, I had Dr. Gidry for that, and man, it was just brutal. When you get into, consolidations, and when one company owns another company, you got to put them together but take certain things out. Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough, but it helped me on the CPA exam. Because until I graduated from here 7 years ago now, I guess, I wasn't a CPA. I took my CPA the last semester I was in graduate school.
Mm.
The last 2 semesters I was in graduate school, because I had enough hours, I could take them whenever I wanted. Because you need, 150 hours for the CPA exam, and you can do it conditionally your last semester. But they won't give you, they won't give you the certification until you have 150 hours. And that was not an issue with me because I had over 230.
Why so many hours?
Well, when I took my master's degree, it was my third master's degree. Okay.
Wow.
So
That's a lot of school.
yes, yes, yeah. I have 3 master's degrees.
In what?
I have an MBA.
Mm-hmm.
I have a master's degree in computer science and master's degree in accounting.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
and yeah, it spread over a lot of years because I got my MBA in 1974, the master's in computer science in 85, and the master's in accounting in 2009. So we're talking 24 years apart.
Yeah.
Which most people will say, no, there's no way I'm going to do that. But I go to school for fun.
Yeah. There you go. I was learning.
So yeah, always learning. Was I involved in any accounting RSOs? No, because I got married when I was 19 years old, and so and I went to, but at that time it was a commuter university, and was 19, so I would go to school and then go work 40 hours, and get up the next morning and do the same thing over again.
And I was complaining about waking up at 8:30 this
Yeah,
morning.
right.
But yeah, and because I worked in a grocery store, and so I would have classes from 9 till 12:30 or 8 till 12:30, and then drive home and work from 1 till 10. And then try to study and get up and go in the morning, go the next morning, because I really didn't have time for it.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea because I now, I work with the Student Accounting Society, and I think it's a good idea for students to do that, if they have the opportunity and their time permits it, because the Student Accounting Society, the National Association for Black Accountants, those in the fraternity are good opportunities to meet the companies, and it really sets you up for the job fairs, like next week the Student Accounting Society is having their banquet, and there'll be all the firms will be there. There'll be 20-25 firms there. It's a good chance to meet people who's doing the hiring, and I think it's a good idea. But no, I never did. Like I said, I couldn't.
Mhm.
You know, when you get married right out of high school,
Yeah, a little difficult.
it's a little difficult. Is there anything you wish you did different when getting your accounting degree? Um, Honestly, no. Um, I was a little different. Most students, uh, when they're going through, have in mind they want to work for a CPA firm. I never had that urge,
Mhm.
and never did work for a CPA firm. All mine is in industry, and I think it helps me. It gives you more of a broad experience earlier on,
Mhm.
managing people, working with people. Because if you're working for a CPA firm, the first couple of years you're doing what I refer to as grunt work. You're at the bottom of the food chain, and you're doing the work that nobody else wants to do.
Mhm.
Where if you're in industry, that's not necessarily the case. And the other thing with the CPA firms to me is the pressure. Particularly around year end,
Mhm.
and you got 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks, and that just I didn't have the urge for that.
I wouldn't either. Yeah.
And the other thing, I think, if you're working for a CPA firm, you get a little experience with a lot of companies, with a lot of the client companies. If you go into industry, you get a lot of experience with one company, and I think it makes your promotion opportunities quicker.
Mhm.
That's my opinion. Um, because the one company I worked for one company for 19 years, and just uh, started out as an internal auditor and ended up as the vice president of administration.
Wow.
You know, and my pay went up in that 20 years 10 times, 1,000%. So you know
Yeah, it helps.
yes, because really you have one person that you have to please, and that's your boss.
Mhm.
Where if you're working for a CPA firm, you've got dozens of clients that you have to work with and try to at least satisfy,
Mhm.
and that wasn't for me. So uh, I don't wish I'd done anything differently. You know, uh,
Mhm.
I've been at it a long time. I've been in industry. Uh, I've owned a business. Uh, Now I'm teaching, so you know, you get to the point that you can do what you want to do, and that's what makes it nice.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know, I don't have to, I don't have to teach, but I want to teach. I like it,
Mhm.
and it makes a big difference instead of something you have to do every day.
Yeah.
So, um, what advice would I give a current accounting student? I would say that my advice would be to spend the time doing the studying. I think a lot of students just, study it enough to get by, you know, and that kind of works on the CPA exam, because on the CPA exam you need a 75 to pass a part.
Mhm.
And some people will say, well, if you get higher than a 75, you wasted your time, because you only needed a 75.
Mhm.
And that never made any sense to me. You know, to me, it's about learning.
The point of the whole exam.
What's that?
Like the point of the whole exam was to like understand the material. So just to get a 75%, you're only knowing 75% of the material.
Yeah, if that, but some people say, you only need this, you know, yeah, but just getting by doesn't really work.
Mhm.
If your boss said,